Hello, and welcome back. This is my series where I tell you more about the Empyrean Lords. We go very much in detail with their involvements in the world of Atreia, and also cover some rumors about them. This time we cover the Empyrean Lord of Light, Lady Ariel. As her title already indicates, Lady Ariel is symbolized by light. Her card shows herself as the sun that gives warmth and light to the people. Two people at the bottom sounding in horns in unison, to show their gratification and their cohesion. Her relic also represents the sun, with its rays of light shining outwards in every direction. In the midst of it we see a red or orange glowing orb. And the only thing that is surprising is the big part that points upwards. It stands as the opposite of Lord Azphel's relic, which points downwards. Lady Ariel is very kind and thoughtful. She cares about the humans, the devas, and every other living being, and wants to prevent more suffering. She is also described as the most beautiful and lushful deva in Elysia. That is not a joke made by me, that is how she is described. Although she is an Empyrean Lord and stands as the opposite of the Shadim leader Azphel, her powers or special abilities have never been revealed in the slightest. But even though she seems fragile, she apparently has access to unknown powers, and stands as the most powerful of the Seraphim Lords. In ancient Atreia, Lady Ariel was best friends with both Lady Yustiel and Lady Lumiel. All three of their powers combined could stabilize all calamities and disasters. In these times, the three were looked upon as the very symbol of Aeon's divinity, and together they guided Atreia to great prosperity. However, after the Peace Treaty Council, Lady Lumiel decided to join Lord Azphel instead of Lady Ariel. The entire council was in shock. Since then, there was a lot of tension between Lady Ariel and Lady Lumiel. Lady Ariel felt betrayed by her former best friend, and Lady Yustiel is the most torn and devastated because of the two's broken friendship. Let's get into her story involvements now. When Israel proposed the peace treaty with the Balor to the Empyrean Lords, Lady Ariel was his main supporter. She wanted the suffering to end. All the precious lives shall not be wasted. Even though Lady Ariel was shocked by her former best friend, Lady Lumiel siding with Lord Azphel instead of her. Thanks to Lady Siel, the peace talks came to be. Lady Ariel harbors deep disappointment and regret that Lord Azphel's ignorance and recklessness has led to the failure of the peace treaty. As chaos broke out during the peace treaty, Lady Ariel and her followers went to the lower hemisphere to defend the southern base of the Tower of Eternity. She later became the leader of these now called Seraphim Lords, and the ruler of all Ilias in Elysia. The cataclysm tore the world apart, and it was a very difficult time for everyone. There are many stories about how Lady Ariel helped the terrified humans directly after the cataclysm. She even told them stories at campfires and gave them hope. With the help of the other Seraphim Lords, she lifted a piece of land into the air, and on this piece of land they rebuilt a part of the old capital Siel. This would then become the new capital of Elysia, called Sanctum. After the Deltros incident, the Seraphim Lords declared war on Asmodee. This was the start of the Abyss Wars. During this time, many of the Empyrean Lords fought each other, but we do not know if Lady Ariel herself also was involved. At the beginning of 1.0, which is probably close to 1,000 years after the Cataclysm, we as the player very soon come in contact with people that call themselves the Leferist Revolutionaries. The Leferist Revolutionaries are followers of Lefar. They are rebelling against the governments of both the Ilias and the Asmodeans. They sow seeds of discontent and anger in the population of Atreia, and hope to conquer the world in the name of their leader, Lefar. All of this has to do with the prophecy of the 13th Empyrean Lord, who they think is Lafar. On the Ilias side, for a few quick examples, they tried to destroy the Verteran Observatory, and in Eltnan they poisoned the water, tried to destroy the Mystic Springs, and even stole an ancient artifact. During all of this, Lady Ariel knew Lafar's true identity, the Empyrean Lord Azphel. However, she did not know what exactly his plan was, so her orders for now were to stay alert and prepare for his next move. Just before the 2.0 patch, where Kaizenel fought against the forces of the Dragon Lord Tiamat, Lady Ariel is also seen in a cutscene, where she orders to prepare reinforcements for Kaizenel in Balorea. This leads to also the player being sent there as reinforcements.
Has there been any progress?
Some of the memories have returned. Not all. Not yet.
I could feel something. The imprint of his presence.
Yes, it would appear there was some contact with him. And it isn't quite clear exactly what was gleaned from the artifact.
So we're left with no real clue to what he really wants. And we won't. Until he makes his move.
Waiting is all we can do for now.
Have you heard anything more from Lord Kaizenel?
Only what Lord Vaizel already reported. Nothing more.
So it would seem Lord Kaizenel is having considerable difficulty.
Well, yes, he is facing the Lar Lord Tiamat after all. And Lord Marchutan of Asmodee as well.
Be ready to send additional support. Just in case it's needed.
Yes.
In the next few patches, Lady Ariel wasn't in the spotlight, but that doesn't mean that she wasn't involved. One of Lady Ariel's agents is a girl called Viola, or Veda in the West. I will refer to her as Viola. In the official Aeon comic, La Veroca, it's all about Viola and the Archdeva. We have a simple translation in our Discord server if you want to get into more details, but let me summarize it quickly. A few years before the Cataclysm, Viola and her family fled from their home to another village where her uncle Akarios lives. This village, a few years afterwards, was also attacked by the Balaur. Dozens of villagers had been killed, that included Viola's family. Just as the Balaur wanted to kill her as well, the Archdeva appeared and saved her. Over the next few years, Viola and the Archdeva got closer. She looked up to him and wanted to become like him. A powerful person that helps and saves others, just like he did for her. Viola wanted to prove that she is ready to go on dangerous missions as well. But the Archdeva dismissed her. It was too dangerous for such a young girl. But then Lady Ariel interjected, and she said that she sees something in Viola, and that the Archdeva should give her a chance. The Archdeva remained resolute and said it is still too dangerous. But if she manages to become a Deva, maybe then he would agree to it. After that, the Cataclysm happened, and the Archdeva gave up all of his life force to help restore the etheric field. With that, he vanished. Lady Siel had sealed a tiny part of the Archdeva away inside of the tower, before she sacrificed herself as well to basically halt the Cataclysm. We do not know what happened to Viola during this time, but we do know that for some reason she ascended as a Deva during or shortly after the Cataclysm. She trained hard and slowly climbed the social ladder, and would much later become one of Lady Ariel's agents. This is how we see her in the game as well in later patches, as Lady Ariel's agent. The comic ends with Lady Ariel sending Viola on a very important mission. The comic doesn't tell us what this mission was, but we can be pretty sure that this mission was to go to Illuma in the 5.0 patch. Now, why would she send Viola there? Well, because Lady Ariel knew that you, the player, are the reincarnation of the Archdeva, and she sends Viola there to meet and support you, while you try to regain your forgotten memories inside of the tower. This way, Viola can finally do that of which she dreamed of, helping the Archdeva who saved her when she was hopeless. Viola is an absolute fan favorite in Korea, and that's why she is also making comebacks in many other patches later on. But enough about her, back to Lady Ariel. Before we move on from the comic, there is one last detail that I want to mention. In the comic, before the cataclysm happened, Lady Ariel is seen with her entire face showing. For example, you can see her yellow glowing eyes. But in every scene or image after the cataclysm, you can't see her eyes anymore. She's hiding them behind the hood. Maybe the cataclysm changed her. Maybe the betrayal by Azphel, Lumiel, and the Archdeva changed her outlook in different ways. Maybe the countless lives that were lost during the cataclysm were too much. We can't say for sure, but it is certainly interesting to see such a change. After the incidents in the 5.0 patch, Lady Ariel once again dispatched Viola to a different region, Lacrum. While she had indirect influence with Viola in Lacrum, Lady Ariel herself hasn't appeared in any patch between 2.0 and 8.0. Her next appearance was in Absteranta, in the 8.0 patch. There she led the Ilios troops against the Asmodean forces. Lord Azphel led the Asmodeans against her. Now up to this point there is no resolution to this fight, so we will have to wait and see. All of this happened in the retail version of Aeon, but she also had an appearance in the classic version of Aeon. Once you reach level 50, you somehow get teleported to a place where you meet both leaders of the Empyrean Lords, Lady Ariel and Lord Azphel. They both argue about something, and it feels like two parents arguing. While the overprotective mom, Lady Ariel, argues that the Empyrean Lords should intervene and help the small and weak Devas. The dad, Lord Azphel, disagrees as the involvement of the Empyrean Lords could just make things worse, and he's like, "Honey, let the kids play outside, they will be fine." So he proves to Lady Ariel that the Devas are not helpless little kids by summoning a couple of shadow creatures that attack the player. In the end, they agree that it should be enough if they give some of their powers to us, so we can handle the situation. And then we get teleported out, and we don't hear any more about that up to this point. In my personal opinion, this entire scene feels out of place, and doesn't really tell us anything or is not really important in any kind of way. And that is pretty much everything we know about the Empyrean Lord of Light, Lady Ariel. This one was much more about people around Lady Ariel than about her personally. That is because we don't actually know that much about her yet. Now, if you want to learn more about specific topics I covered today, I will link everything in the description. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you have any more questions, feel free to ask them here in the comments or in our Discord server. In the description you can find the links to the videos of the other Empyrean Lords. Or, if you're watching this very early on, feel free to vote in our Discord server on who we should do next. Have a wonderful day, and see you in the next one. Bye!